Man, that Wiz is a total and utter rascal just out of nowhere. Announcing new megastructures for Megacorp, even though he's been alluding to the Ecumenopoli for such a long time. It was one of the first hints that were dropped when, even before 2.2 Le Guin was announced. However, today, finally, we're going to be delving into Dev Diary 132, Ecumenopoli and Megastructures. That's right, 4 new Megastructures and the Ecumenopoli are going to be joining us in Megacorp. And there's a bunch of really cool things going on here that I kind of want to delve into, and let's hope that a bunch of other things are going to be adjusted for this as well. As somebody just pings me on the Discord. Thank you for that, person. Anyway, Ecumenopoli. So they are technically already available in a mod or two within the game. However, it's now finally coming towards the forefront, and in combination with the 2.2 Le Guin planetary changes, we're finally capable of getting more than 250 pops in a practical way onto these gigantic rocks. So this is rather cool. Anyway, in order to get access to Ecumenopoli, you need to get an Ascension perk. I'm kind of starting to get to the point that we need more Ascension points, because 8 is no longer enough to really streamline your empire into the direction that you really want to, especially with like the Gigastructures mod and stuff like that. But yeah, the new Ascension perk Arcology project, which will turn the world into a city, which is rather cool. So basically what it also unlocks is you need a new technology for it, which is called anti-gravity engineering, which unlocks the Arcology project. Ascension perks, which is rather straightforward. It's 8,000 it's 8,000 engineering points, which is a relatively late game. It's an industrial modifier as well, which is kind of cool. And once you got the Ascension perk and you got it unlocked, it's very similar to the consecrated world, but instead of using a certain amount of resources, you will need to use 20,000 minerals and 200 influence, and it takes 3,600 days to get her done. So 10 years. Basically, what it does, it increases housing, resource production, and pop growth, and also all your districts will be changed to Arcology districts, and also disables the construction of generators, mines, and agricultural districts. But like I said, Arcology districts are now here as well. So let's take a look at some of these. So we got the residential Arcology, which increases the amount of housing by 15, 5 additional clerk jobs, and basically you get additional trade value and amenities. We got foundries, which basically turn minerals into alloys, which is a huge deal because you get 10 metallurgists, which is kind of nice. The industrial Arcology, you get consumer goods through artisans, and then we have the leisure district, which entertain is turn consumer goods into unity and amenities. So basically what we need to find out is as soon as the thing comes out, I'm going to need to bust out a spreadsheet to basically look what is the most optimal way of generating resources into other resources, because the upkeep for this place is going to be pretty crazy, even if you've already pumped in the 20,000 minerals to get her done. However, there is a way to offset this problem. Of course, you can go for the Arcology project, but a nice thing to go in tandem with that is, of course, Galactic Wonders. Now, Galactic Wonders is now going to unlock the following. Now, we already have the Sentry Array, the Science Nexus, Dyson Sphere, and the Ring Worlds, which were all part of Utopia. However, we're going to be seeing a little addition. Matter Decompressor, which is a item that you can put around a black hole, which can generate up to 1,000 minerals a month. It's basically the exact same as the Dyson Sphere, except it generates matter instead of, or these minerals instead of energy. Probably at a ridiculous upkeep. The Strategic Coordination Center, which is a building, a structure which basically kind of sort of replaces what the one of the Ascension perk used to do. I kind of lapsed in my head at the moment, but basically it would give you 200 points of fleet power. I can't remember what it's called. Regardless, it gives you a whole bunch of additional resources for military, the Mega Art Installation, and the Interstellar Assembly. Now, let's go through all of these. They are kind of cool. So, first of all, like I mentioned, the Matter Decompressor has 4 levels, very similar to the Dyson Sphere. Pretty expensive from what I understand, but it generates 250, 500, 750, and 1,000 minerals. And it looks really cool. I have no idea how it actually generates these minerals. It's sitting on the accretion disk of a black hole. So whether or not it's using From what I understand, it's basically a giant energy to matter conversion unit. So yeah. The Strategic Coordination Center looks really cool, actually. It kind of gives me that vibe of the Titan from Humanoids, similar in design at least. Gives you improved naval capacity, starbase capacity, defense platforms, and sub-light speed. So basically, at the max level, you get to plus 225 naval capacity, which is rather nice. 15 additional star bases, 24 additional platforms, and on top of that, it will increase the sublight speed of all your ships by 15%, which cannot be understated when it comes to going for some warfare-related items, because obviously ship fleets need to go from point to point within the system in order to go where they need to be, the various jump points, which the improvements in sublight is rather important. If you can get Trickster on top of that, or Gale Speed, then you can get even more crazier things there. More crazier. What's a better word? Thesaurus. Insane. Let's go with that. Mega art installation. It's basically a giant version of the art installations you can put on planets, or like the planetary monuments and stuff like that. At 30 stages, generates 100, 200, and 300 unities a month, and it increases your production of amenities. I still cannot pronounce that word, but to 5, 10, and 15%, which is rather good, especially if you want to upkeep a very large empire. And finally, there's the Interstellar Assembly, and I have the weird idea that the Interstellar Assembly is going to be the first step to the new space UN systems that have been alluded to for a very long time, at least for a diplomacy expansion, which is rather cool. Basically, what it does is it has 4 stages, just as the other ones before, except, of course, the Mega Art installation. And basically improves immigration by 25, 50, 75, and 100%, as well as improving other empires' opinion to 10, 25, 30, and 50, respectively, which is rather nice. It's very, very good if you're trying to play a xenophile race, and you can spiral out of control very quickly, generating huge federations, alliances, and whatnot, which is rather cool, to say the least. Now, there is not a lot of chat whether or not we can actually build these mega structures in parallel. I think it's one of the most annoying things in the game right now, that the base ones, you can only build one mega structure at the time, and that also includes the gate system, so it can take hundreds of years to get actually something decent going when it comes to your mega structures. I don't think I'm a big fan of that, especially once you have the matter decompressor or the Dyson sphere in the place. You should be able to roll out and completely start steamrolling with the various resources and megastructures and that sort of thing, and you should be able to do so. Like, you get one up and running, you get the resources, screw it, let's generate even more. Let's get completely rolling. Like, you have one stellar lifter, then just build another one because you have the minerals for it. It's the perfect way of dealing with things. Regardless, that is the overview for this month of this week's Dev Diary 132, the Ecumenopoli and Megastructures, and it's looking to be an interesting one. I'm really looking forward to see how this thing with the Ecumenopoli is going to pan out, as well as the new Megastructures. Megastructures to me are always really cool. Obviously, the 4 new ones you can only get if you have Megacorp. If you own Utopia, you have and Megacorp at the same time. You will have access to all 8 underneath Galactic Wonders. Not entirely sure if that is a good idea, but of course the amount of Ascension perks that you have access to in total is steadily decreasing, especially considering in the past we had ring worlds as well. And by steadily decreasing, what I mean is that we only have 8 slots, and more and more Ascension perks are coming in, so specializing your empire is becoming a little bit more difficult, especially to sort of min-maxing and all that stuff. Regardless, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it's been a while that we've done one of these, and sadly I was on the road for a little while, but thank you so much once again for joining us here for this Dev Diary, and we're going to continue on as well with the Paradox Dev Clash in the very near future. If you want to join us as well on the Discord and whatnot, the link is down below in the description, and make sure that you keep on watching the Peluche series as well, as we are having quite a lot of fun with that. In the meantime, we're going to go wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time, take good care of yourselves and as always, eat shutter.